Hello everyone, welcome to LexTalk World Talk Show presented by Recovery Creators. Today we have Mr. Rishi K Kapoor with us. Mr. Kapoor has been actively involved in the process of resolution of stressed assets now for last more than 2 decades. He has not only advised clients to structure the resolution of stressed assets, but has also actively defended and assisted clients in the resolution of stressed assets before various courts, such as Honorable Court, High Court of Allahabad, Chandigarh, Delhi, Mumbai, and Honorable Supreme Court of India as well. His clientele also includes financial institutions and varies a lot. It also actually includes asset reconstruction companies such as ICICI Bank Limited, GE Money, with Deutsche Bank, and so on and so forth. We have a lot of things actually to talk about it. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the man himself. Hello, Mr. Kapoor. How are you doing?
Good evening. So far, so good. Thank you.
Great. Good to hear that. And thank you very much for getting some time for us for this session.
Thank
I'll
you.
directly dive into your practice. And whenever I meet lawyer, it's of course it's a vast ocean. But if you can, sort of pick a single case or tell us about a complex legal issue that you worked upon, and if you can also describe the complexity around it and how you approach it, that would be highly appreciated.
Yeah, certainly. Before I do jump on to the answer of that, I'll also like to just mention in brief that I, as a lawyer, when I started my career as a lawyer way back in 1998, I did start my practice from consumer court cases. So it's been a long journey from starting the practice from a consumer court cases, and the clients were very supportive, giving a lot of opportunities, learning a lot on the process. And today, yes, over the period of time, I, as a individual litigating practitioner, have also developed a lot of insights and a lot of techniques and litigation resolution also. So in the process of the journey, as coming back to your question of the complex litigation handling, I'll not name the client because being confidential and not disclosing it. That was where one of the investors, a foreign investor, had invested a huge amount of money in a company back here in India. And unfortunately, due to regulatory work and because of not getting the clearances on time, there was project delays. And obviously, as an investor, when you invest, time and money are both very crucial. And if he doesn't get the money on time, he is losing interest. So, and unfortunately, there have been certain developments back here that the investor does feel confident coming and investing in our country and the companies here. But at the same time, a little bit of regulatory delays does delay the project per se. So obviously there was litigation. There was the two minds did not meet. The investors did understand that, yes, there are practical problems, but at the end of the day, if he doesn't get the return, he doesn't get the return. So that's the end of the chapter. So that's how the dispute arises, and that's how the litigation did begin. And that was a form of an arbitration because there was a resolution by way of dispute resolution by way of arbitration. So therefore, the arbitral tribunal was constituted. The arbitral tribunal was constituted of all our retired senior most judges of the Honorable Supreme Court. And obviously, the claims were running into good few thousand crores. It was a good amount. And the arbitration award was passed against our client because obviously the money was invested and there was a default, there was delay. So obviously, there was not much of a scope. However, once we did come, that arbitration I was not handling. I came into the picture only once the matter did come up before the Delhi High Court, and by way of Section 34 challenging the award. Now, while we were drafting the appeal, the question did come up, the manner in which the money did come up in India, whether it meet the requirements of the Reserve Bank of India and the several guidelines and several notifications and the rules and which have been framed. And in a manner that if the money does come into India, how it can an arbitration award or a claim in favor of the claimant, how the money is going to route back to him, how the money is going to go back to him. Now, in Delhi, as the background does go, Delhi traditionally has been, since the parliament is here, the center is here, the all the RBI, all the government authorities are here. So they're more of policy framing. So the litigation that we handle back here traditionally was more of challenging the litigation, so the legality of it. The commercial transactions per se was more back in Mumbai. So we were trying to find a lot of work, a lot of, I would say, case laws on those. But unfortunately, with the practice that we do here, it was more of legalities and more of policies, the virus of the policy. But then we realized that more of the transactions and the commercial transactions is way back, are more in Bombay. So we started doing a lot of research work to find answers in Mumbai. So in Mumbai High Court, we found a lot of interesting case laws where disputes amongst the corporates were resolved, and a lot of litigation and a lot of judgments and interpretation of those policies and those circulars were much more well answered over there, and the legality was well answered there. So we found a lot of good answers to our questions while we were drafting the appeal here. So while we did, then our thought process, our drafting, our way forward was much more clearer. So though we were at the back foot because the arbitration award was against us, but once we drafted, not only we had a lot of confidence taking this case forward, including the client was also very, confident that yes, they have some ray of hope. Although we are still fighting this, it's still being adjudicated. But believe me, when we, the award came to me, I said, I think this is going to be thrown out on the first day. But it's been now good 1.5, 2 years. We're still there.
That's great. And talking about 1,000 crore, you said a good amount of money. And references, I believe, also works in terms of cases. I've seen quite some cases where there is some case which is running in the same way in Mumbai, as you said. So taking references from there and putting in another draft also works. This is also a comment that we received from some new lawyer, some budding lawyer, and this was the answer that we received in our comments itself. So I guess if that guy is watching, this is the audio version of that answer. Brilliant. Moving further to our next question, Mr. Kapoor, you and me, and we all have, sort of surpassed the pandemic times. And I saw some changes in my industry. You saw a lot of changes in your industry. So, courts begin moving towards more remote proceedings and availability. Is this sustainable? That's my question to you. Is that remote proceeding is sustainable and a possible way to increase access to justice? What's your opinion on that?
See, we have to understand from the context of our India, right? So when it did hit us first, all the hardcore litigating practitioners, it was very difficult to have all the digital things in our laptops, computers, iPads. It was very difficult. But slowly, after the first lockdown was over, and slowly once the court did started hearing these urgent matters, it was very difficult, but slowly it did sink into us. The good part of it was this, that people sitting remotely had access to justice. There's no doubt about it. I have absolutely no doubt about it, and including my friends and colleagues where we have discussed, and including this topic has been discussed in various conferences now. It's absolutely no question that having this access of digital and the pandemic, where we started having online hearings, people sitting remotely have got access to justice. That's the right way to do. Now, as I mentioned when I started answering to this question, we have to understand this from our Indian context. We have to change our mindset. We have to change the way we work. while physical hearings were not possible, we all were then attuned after a year and a half to do everything digital, right? But yes, doing digital, there were a lot of our colleagues who did not have access to digital platform also. So it was also hurting them to work, to right to livelihood. They have spent a lot of hours, they spent a lot of years being a lawyer. And if they don't have access to this, they are unable to do their practice through digital platform. There's a lot of injustice which is also happening. So we really have to, sync the two things together. That yes, digital platform does provide everybody access to justice, but at the same time, you need a lawyer, a legal practitioner to do that. But if he does not have that access, how is he going to use that technology? So the education to that effect is very important. And if we can utilize it, there is absolutely no question, no doubt of utilizing it in a good manner. The disposal rate which we have seen, which is very important. The disposal rate online is far more quicker than physical. Like, for example, a lawyer has got, say, 5 cases in a day in 5 different courts. It is practically impossible for him to be in 5 different courts. So he'll either reach in 1 or 2 matters, and the other matters he is going to ask for an adjournment. And with the the number of cases going on and the pressure on the courts, it is not possible to have a shorter date. So the matter is adjourned for 3 to 4 months. So the litigating back there has got his decision making delayed by 3 to 4 months. But in digital platform, 5 courts doing it one particular time, it's very much possible. Things were happening and they have attended to, and it has given good results.
So this is another angle of looking at it. Mr. Kapoor, if I may also dwell down to this, is this more of a infrastructure issue that we are looking at when it comes to remote proceedings, right?
To some extent, yes. I would say so, that yes, there is an infrastructure, there is bandwidth problem, there are connectivity issues. Because remotely, there have been a lot of issues of connectivity. You are presenting your case, and while you're presenting your case, your network, is not proper. So you're not able to have visual, or you're not able to have audio. So there have been issues, and that needs to be addressed. Once, I'm sure, as we are progressing and all the things are improving, this does get streamlined. So the infrastructure issues improves, and I'm sure all this will not be an impediment.
Sure. Fingers crossed, all. Okay, taking this a bit further, the justice, I was also talking about the access to justice. How would you rate the current legal systems drive towards encouraging access to justice? Is there tangible movement in closing the justice gap, apart from the remote process?
Yes, there has been a lot of proactive approach on this, and things are moving in a good positive direction. There's no doubt about it. There are, if you really see, in past, I would say last 2 to 3 years, there has been a lot of positive growth, and the efforts are being taken not only by the members of the bar, but also from our honorable judges and also from the ministry of providing access to justice. And there has been a great improvement, and everything just boils down. I don't know, I was just reading a post somewhere of that in when the drive of Swachh Bharat did start up, it was important for each one of us to take care. If there is a plastic bottle lying on the road, don't ignore it. Go and pick it up. No? Similarly, the thought process when it comes in your mind to do something, it brings into your actions. So similarly, it is important for each one of us. So thought process is there. The efforts are now being made. So if all that each one of us brings it into action, the results will come for sure. There is, that's how the human psyche, that's how things go. Not only the legal profession, but if you really see the other aspects also, that's the way to move forward.
That's I guess the common answer that we received on an average from all the lawyers.
No,
So
not
bad. Mr. Kapoor, I've also, as you have also explained in the, initially when I asked you the first question, you also added a few more things to the introduction that I've added. And what me and I understand, and what I guess our viewers will understand, that you have a very busy schedule around you. Considering the practice, time is money for everyone in any profession, and in legal, it's most of all. How do you personally ensure to make the best of your time as a lawyer? I mean, in your profession and in your personal.
That's a tough one.
That's a deep cost, as well.
See, what is important is that in holistic view, you have to see that at some point of time, you your profession is something which is your duty. And today, it's more of a responsibility. If you are taking up any assignment, it is my responsibility, it is my duty to fulfill it. I would be lacking in my duty if I am not giving 100% of this. Leave aside, the monetary part of it. Now, just as a coincidence, when you do ask this question to me, I received a call today morning. I was in court, but it was from a very old friend of mine, way back, 15, 20 years back. And that point of time, maybe he had, I did one case with him. Now, the friend of mine is in a very high, he's on a very high position right now. And he called me and said, that Rishi, one of a girl, she's 19 years of age, and unfortunately in COVID, she's lost both the parents. And there is a property of the parents, and that she has inherited, and she needs to put it in her name. She can't pay money. She's gone to several places, but unfortunately nobody has been able to help her because there could be some fee competent or whatever expenses, so that needs to be met, but she's not able to do it. So I said, I'll be happy to help her. It's sometimes not about money, but sometimes a person needs some justice, the formality. Now, I don't know what the nature of the case is going to be, whether it is a simpliciter case of, a grant of succession or a probate or the documentation paper. I don't know the facts of it right now, but the idea behind it, why I'm mentioning this, and that should be very important, which I also, when any of the interns or young colleagues or young advocates who join my office, when I do interact with them in the initial few days once of the induction process does come into the company, our mindset should not be that you have to run behind the monetary part. I am a lawyer. I have to do my duty. It has to be done with responsibility. If you can't do it, please say no, I can't do it. So then your time management and all other things will fall in place by itself.
So I guess now we are talking about value creation.
Yeah, more importantly, yes.
Brilliant, brilliant, Mr. Kapoor. I have actually a lot of things to talk about, but I believe we are short on time. And again, as I said, you took out a good 30 minutes for us for this discussion. One last thing that I want our viewers to, where can they find you actually if they want to, get a hold of you?
See, very easy. My parents have, that's no role of mine, but my parents have given a very good name to me. This is Rishi Kapoor, right? So my name is very easy, and fortunately, it's very easy to remember also. I am based out of Delhi. I have born, brought up, studied, working in Delhi. I'm doing my legal practice in Delhi. So finding out to me, reaching out to me is very simple. I am on a very simple device of, search engine of Google, where you just put Rishi Kapoor Advocate Delhi and I'm there. So I'm very easily approachable, very easily reachable. And my essential area of practice is now corporate commercial litigation, apart from the stress assets and the advice that we give to, other clients. And now, since the area of work is corporate commercial litigation, so we have also diverse a lot of our practice in the areas of white collar crimes as well. So reaching out to me is very simple on LinkedIn, as well as just Rishi K Kapoor. You put it on Google and I'm there.
Great, great. And as you said, it's easy to remember. Uh, just a fun fact. We were just sort of giggling about it. It's your interview today, and I had a meeting with someone called Ranbir Kapoor, and I'm not kidding. It's Ranbir. That was his name. So it was really funny. I
That was
just
a
thought that I would
question.
share that with you. That was a great coincidence. But thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much for sharing such great insights with us. And we of course look forward to having such great chat with you again in the future on some other trending topics in the international legal industry. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Pleasure is
Take
all mine. And for our viewers, if you like this chat with Mr. Kapoor, please make sure that you like this video, you share this video, and you click on that red button and subscribe to Click Away Creators YouTube channel to appreciate what we do. And you have more coming in from legal industry leaders like Mr. Rishi K Kapoor. This was Sagar for Let's Talk World signing off. Thank you very much.